Hi guys, it's Joey Laverne, and I wanted to put this video up before I have a fiery wall of protection oil I made, and someone had requested to see how I made my oil, so I did that. But I wanted to do this update video first, just to let people know what's been going on. We've had a bit of drama in our home life, in that Tuesday night and in the day, the gnome had been exhibiting symptoms that we thought might be a heart attack, and he'd had pains down his arm, and then at night he started getting really bad chest pains. So I made him call NHS Direct, who sent out an ambulance, and they checked him over, and they said, we're pretty sure it's not a heart attack and this, that and the other, but because of his age and he's a man and the symptoms, we want to send him to the hospital to get double checked, blood tests, etc. So we went at 11 o'clock on Tuesday night, and we didn't get back until 1 o'clock the following day, and it was a bit of an ordeal. The hospital did all the tests for him and gave him a shot of anticoagulant, I think, and did all that sort of thing for him, and that they were quite good about that, and that's all they were quite good about. But they were quite good about making sure he got tested. They did 2 blood tests 12 hours apart, although they said he didn't think he needed it, but they're going to keep him overnight anyway. But there my good opinion of the hospital ends. They weren't very pleasant to me at all, and the general attitude of the staff wasn't very good. I don't drive, and the gnome's car was in for a service, and obviously we came to the hospital by our ambulance. They tried to make me leave 4 times, despite the fact that I couldn't leave and didn't want to leave my gnome, not knowing if he was having a heart attack. I explained to them that I had one money source between me and the gnome. That was a credit card, and so we didn't know if we could get cash out anyway to get a taxi home. That was a worry, and I explained to them if I went, he couldn't get home. And they were really arsey with me and not very pleasant. So the first place they moved him for this overnight thing, that after we'd been sat for hours and hours and hours, the first blood test took 3 hours, and this, that and the other. They did a whole load of ECGs, which took hours. So they put him on a ward, and I went with him and went to sit by him, and they informed us as I sat down, not before, that I couldn't sit with him. It was a man's only ward. So I could sit in the waiting room in the dark on a chair late at night. It was then 3 in the morning for the whole night. So I had to do that, and I was in pain, and I was crying because I was upset, and I was worried about the gnome, and I was just left on my own on a hardback chair with my back seizing up. I have back problems, crying my eyes out, abandoned. They decided at 6 in the morning to move him, and I just about got told. They weren't going to tell me, but I was awake. I couldn't sleep. They weren't updating me to his condition either, because I wasn't a family member. I'm his fiance, not his wife, so I don't get proper updates. And then they moved him at 6 in the morning to a men's only ward with no waiting room. Why they did it, other than there was no waiting room, I don't know. There was no difference. I then spoke to the only sympathetic staff member I saw, and she put me in a room, which is an interview room, and it's actually their staff room. So I was there for the rest of the time. I had staff being nasty to me for being in their staff room. I had heard bitching going on about me outside the staff room. I eventually had a woman telling me I couldn't wait there all day, at which point we were told there would only be another hour for his final blood test and then he could go. It turned out there was another 2 hours, and just as I was being thrown out and had nowhere to go, and they were like, go sit in the coffee shop, so go sit somewhere where you have to pay. And I'd never been to this hospital ever, and if it had been Nottingham, I might have known how to get somewhere, but I was distraught because I didn't know where I was, I didn't know how to get anywhere. It was then midday, half 12, and I had been there since 11 o'clock the previous night, with no sleep, no drink offered me, no food offered me, crying my eyes out all night. My eyes were red and swollen, and I was achy, and I was dizzy, and I had nothing to eat, nothing to drink, so I was basically spaced out of my brain, falling over. And luckily they said he could then go home. So we came home, and he's alright and I'm alright, and we got over it. But the way the staff in the hospital treated me, I wasn't very impressed at all, and some of their general attitudes towards people was really awful. There was a group of them cackling their heads off at 6 in the morning on a ward where people were asleep. There was another woman who I heard her saying, oh, I'm glad I've just had a holiday so I can cope with worried and sick people on the phone. Otherwise, I just want to tell them to fuck off. I'm like, why are you in a caring profession? The general attitude of them, pretty shocking. So that's why I haven't done my follow-up video for Air, the one. I haven't even done much footage. I did some shooting of footage, but I have to try and do that today. I'm still very, very tired, very, very worn out. It's in my bones. Still a bit upset, really. So that's why there hasn't been other videos. I have another video to upload after I've uploaded this one, but I wanted to do this one first so people know why there's been a gap and things. Well, then they think it is of the gnome. They think he has trapped nerves in his neck and his back that's causing pains. So it's not a heart attack, which was a big relief. So he's okay, I'm okay, just very, very tired, very, very achy, very, very disappointed in the quality of treatment that I got. He was alright, he was treated okay. Although some of the patients I saw weren't treated with a whole load of respect. It wasn't best impressed. So I'm home. We're alright. I just thought I would do this update video just to let people know. Ordered a few Christmas bits this morning just to perk me up, and got some underwear in the post. Nothing exciting, just I needed some. So that cheered me up a bit this morning. So yeah. So I just thought I would update everybody, and you can tell my brain's not working very well, my throat hurts. But I thought I would just let everyone know what is going on. So I'm going to upload my Fiery Wall of Protection oil video after this one. And that'll probably be it for today because I'm just tired. So many blessings.